Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another DIY kit from Simply Earth. This time we are making some candles. So here's everything that came in the kit. They give you the wax, you get your essential oils. The first one is a blend. It smells very masculine, kind of smoky, woodsy. It's a really nice scent. And then the other one is bergamot. You're going to be using both of those in the candle. But I guess if you didn't want that fragrance, you can use other essential oils that you have at home. But we're going to use the recommended ones in the kit. You also have some wood wicks, metal clips, and some stickers that will stick it to the bottom of the jar. You have a recipe card that is very easy to follow. This is a really simple DIY recipe. There's not really any measuring, so if you're intimidated by DIY kits in any way, this one's for you. Very, very simple. It also came with 2 cards in case you want to give the candles away as gifts. You can write messages on it. And then here is the candle jars. So there are 2 in the kit. They're identical and they're this beautiful, I guess you'd call it like a sage color. It's very pretty. It does come with a lid. There's no writing or branding or anything on it, and it's like a matte finish. So one of the first things it tells you to do, which I've never thought of, is to write like a little message on the wick. So as it burns, you could kind of see it or it'll be revealed. I thought that was a really cool idea. The first one, I just drew hearts on it because I thought that would be cutesy to see those as it burns down. And then on the other stick, I wrote, "I love you." I'm not very creative, so that's what I thought I'd put in there. And you do want to leave a little bit of a gap because it's going to be held in the little metal clip. And then you're also going to trim the wick a little bit. So you don't want to write all the way to the end. But you do stick them in there. It's a little tough at first. It sits in there very snug. And I didn't think about it until after the fact, but I should have had the "I love you" going the other way because it's burning backwards. And you can't really tell what it's supposed to say. But you peel off one sticker, stick it to the bottom of the metal clip, and then you pull off the back of that to reveal the other sticker. And then you just stick that to the bottom of the candle. Easy peasy. And then I'm using a double boiler. I have some water on the bottom of my pot. And I'm going to dump in the entire bag of the soy wax. It says it's 16 ounces, and that's exactly how much they gave us. So there was no measuring in that. And I brought it over to the stove and let it heat up. Took about maybe 5 full minutes to completely melt everything. But if you're doing it in the microwave, you can definitely do it that way. Put it in a microwave safe container, heat for about 2-minute intervals, stirring really well in between, and then 30-second intervals after that 2 minutes. But once it's finally melted, remove it from the heat. And then you can add in the entire bottle of both essential oils. Again, you don't have to measure it, which is really nice. And then you're going to want to stir it for about 2 to 3 minutes to fully combine it. So I was holding them upside down as I stirred, kind of like a stir drip action going on to make sure everything was really well incorporated. So super easy. And then when you're done with that, you can pour it into your candle jars. I completely eyeballed it because I couldn't tell like where I should stop when I was pouring it. And I poured it pretty much identical in both jars. I was very proud of myself because I was scared I was going to make them a little uneven. But what I did forget to do is trim the wick. I always forget to trim the wicks with candles. And I know you're supposed to make it like a nice clean burn. But after I poured these, you do have to let it sit at least 24 hours undisturbed. That way it could set up and harden. So I came back the next day, and this is what the candles looked like. A little bit of the wick sticking up. But depending on where you wrote your message, you can't quite tell there's a message in there yet. So I did light it. Again, forgot to trim it. So the flame's big for a second, and then it goes down. Very minimal if you've never burned a candle with a wood wick. It almost doesn't look like it's lit sometimes because it's just low and flickering, and they're very pretty to hear crackle and to watch. But yeah, very fragrant, Super easy recipe. If you want to give this kit a try, I do have a link below and a promo code, so make sure to check that out. I've also done reviews of their other kits, and there have been tons of them, all sorts of ones, lotions, makeup, you name it. So make sure to check out my playlist if you want to see more of these videos. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.